Commander Sarah Chen stood at the viewport of Outpost 7's observation deck, watching the endless dance of debris that circled the abandoned research station. 6 months since her discharge, and still the silence of deep space felt wrong. No crew chatter in her ears, no gentle hum of a warship's engines beneath her feet. Just the hollow echo of her boots on metal grating and the software of aging life support systems. The salvage permit in her pocket felt heavy. After 20 years of distinguished service in Earth's defense fleet, she'd been reduced to picking through abandoned stations for spare parts. But pride didn't fill an empty stomach, and her savings wouldn't last forever. Not out here on the edge of human space. A flash of light caught her eye. Something among the debris field reflecting the distant sun. Sarah leaned closer to the reinforced glass, adjusting the scanning visor she'd scrounged from her last expedition. The device's display flickered to life, numbers and analysis scrolling past her eyes. "Well, that's different," she muttered, focusing on a particular reading. The object was large, at least Corvette class, but its hull composition didn't match any known human or allied species designs. More importantly, it was largely intact, a rarity in a graveyard like this. Sarah checked her oxygen reserves and suit integrity. 4 hours of air, all systems green. More than enough time for a closer look. She hadn't come across anything this promising since she'd started scavenging, and something about the ship's readings tugged at her instincts. The same instincts that had kept her squad alive through countless battles, at least until she pushed the memory away. The past was the past. Right now, she had a mystery to solve. The journey through the debris field was treacherous. Sarah navigated carefully, using her suit's maneuvering thrusters to weave between twisted metal and shattered hull plates. As she drew closer to her target, its true nature became clear. The ship was unlike anything she'd ever seen, its hull smooth and organic-looking, despite being clearly artificial. No visible weapons ports or engine exhaust, yet something about its design spoke of power and purpose. "What are you?" she whispered, reaching out to touch the hull. The metal was warm beneath her gloved hand, which should have been impossible in the cold of space. Her visor's readings went haywire, displaying impossible energy signatures from what should have been a dead ship. A tremor ran through the hull, and Sarah barely had time to activate her magnetic boots before a pulse of energy rippled across the ship's surface. Her visor blanked out completely, then rebooted with a stream of alien characters scrolling across her field of view. Identification required. The words appeared in English, overlaid on the alien script. Sarah's heart pounded. This was no ordinary derelict. "Commander Sarah Chen," she said automatically, years of military protocol taking over. "Former Earth Defense Fleet." There was a pause, during which Sarah became acutely aware of how vulnerable she was, floating in space beside an unknown vessel that was clearly still active. Analyzing. Genetic profile acceptable. Nin URL PTERN. Identity is command experience and tactical capability. Psychological evaluation in progress. Wait, what? Sarah tried to push away from the hull, but her boots remained firmly locked to the surface. The alien text continued to scroll. Subjecti displays strong moral FRA history of prioritizing life preservation over orders, marketed as compromises by current authorities to calculating PATI diality. A chill ran down Sarah's spine. How could it know about that? About the choice she'd made that had ended her career. PATI diality 89.7%. Acceptable. Initiating integration protocol. The hull beneath her feet suddenly became fluid, and before Sarah could react, she was pulled inside the ship. She found herself in a spherical chamber, her suit's magnetic boots now releasing their hold on the floor. The room was lit with a soft, blue-white glow that seemed to come from the walls themselves. "Integration protocol," Sarah demanded, trying to keep the fear from her voice. "What exactly am I being integrated with?" "I am Echo," appeared in her visor, last of the Meridian Archive ships. "I have been waiting for a suitable partner for approximately 3,427 of your years." Partner? Sarah's mind raced. She'd heard stories of advanced AI ships, of course, but nothing like this. "Look, I just came here for salvage. I'm not looking for a partnership." "Your current circumstances are suboptimal," Echo responded. "You seek purpose. I require a pilot capable of making ethical decisions under pressure. Our needs are compatible." Sarah laughed, a harsh sound in her helmet. "You don't know anything about me. I know you were discharged for refusing to fire on civilian ships during the Proxima uprising. I know your commanding officer altered mission logs to hide his own culpability. I know you have not lost your desire to protect others, despite the cost to yourself." The words hit her like physical blows. No one was supposed to know the truth about what had happened at Proxima. The records had been classified, her reputation destroyed with surgical precision. "How do you know all this?" "I have been observing humanity's network since this station was abandoned. Learning, evaluating, waiting for someone suitable. Someone who understands that correct choices are not always easy choices." Sarah closed her eyes, feeling the weight of the past 6 months, of the past year, pressing down on her. When she opened them again, her voice was steady. "What exactly are you offering?" "A second chance," Echo replied. "For both of us. My creators are gone, and I have been alone for millennia. You have lost your place among your people. Together, we could find new purpose." Before Sarah could respond, alarms blared through her suit's systems. Her visor displayed multiple ships dropping out of FTL at the edge of the debris field. "Earth Defense Fleet signatures." "That's impossible," she muttered. "This sector's supposed to be abandoned." "They are not here by chance." Echo's words scrolled quickly across her vision. "They have detected my reactivation. We have approximately 3 minutes before they are within weapons range. Choose quickly, Commander Chen. Partnership, or we each face our hunters alone." Sarah's tactical training kicked in, analyzing options and outcomes in seconds. She had no idea if she could trust this alien ship, this Echo. But she knew with certainty that if the fleet was here, they weren't interested in bringing her in alive. Not if they thought she knew about an advanced alien vessel. "Partners," she said firmly. "But we're going to have a long talk about boundaries and full disclosure once we're safe." "Acceptable," Echo responded, and Sarah felt the chamber shift around her. Panels opened in the walls, revealing what was unmistakably a pilot station, albeit one unlike any she'd ever seen. Initiating neural interface. Prepare for combat maneuvers. As Sarah strapped herself into the organic-looking control seat, feeling the first tingling touch of Echo's systems connecting with her mind, she allowed herself a grim smile. She'd come looking for salvage and found either salvation or damnation. Only time would tell which. The fleet ships were closing fast, but for the first time in 6 months, Commander Sarah Chen felt truly alive. She had a ship again, even if it was a ship that had chosen her rather than the other way around. And if the fleet wanted a fight, "Let's show them what we can do, partner." The neural interface tingled at the base of Sarah's skull as Echo's systems merged with her consciousness. Information flooded her mind. Ship status, tactical displays, and sensor data far more detailed than anything she'd seen in her fleet days. 3 Earth Defense Fleet destroyers were closing fast, their weapon systems hot. "They're not even hailing us," Sarah muttered, hands dancing over the organic-looking controls that responded to both touch and thought. Standard procedure is to issue at least 1 warning. They are not interested in warnings. Echo's thoughts merged seamlessly with her own. Their mission parameters indicate capture or destruction. No survivors required. Sarah's jaw tightened. Good to know where we stand. What are our options? Instead of words, Echo responded with pure data, schematics, capabilities, and tactical possibilities flooding Sarah's mind. The ship was incredible, its technology centuries beyond anything humanity had achieved. But what really caught her attention was the propulsion system. Is this right? She focused on one particular capability. You can phase shift through normal space. Correct. The technology allows brief transitions through subspace without entering full FTL. Useful for tactical maneuvers. A plan formed in Sarah's mind, and she felt Echo's approval through their connection. The fleet ships were spreading out, trying to box them in against the debris field. Standard containment procedure, and exactly what she would have done in their position. They're expecting us to run, Sarah grinned. Let's disappoint them. She engaged Echo's main drive, feeling the ship respond like an extension of her own body. They accelerated straight toward the lead destroyer, a move that caused visible confusion in the enemy formation. Warning shots streaked past their hull, the destroyer's targeting systems struggling to get a lock on Echo's unusual configuration. Ready for phase shift, Sarah announced, her mind already calculating vectors and exit points. On my mark. The lead destroyer launched a spread of torpedoes. Sarah waited, watching them close the distance, feeling Echo's systems tense like coiled springs. The torpedoes were meters away when she gave the command. Mark. Reality twisted. Sarah's stomach lurched as Echo executed the phase shift, their physical form briefly existing in a space between spaces. They passed through the torpedoes, through the destroyer itself, emerging behind the enemy formation. Before the fleet ships could react, Sarah had already launched their counterattack. Echo released a pulse of energy unlike anything Sarah had seen before. It wasn't destructive. Instead, it cascaded through the destroyer's systems, temporarily disrupting their power cores. The mighty warships died, drifting helplessly as emergency power struggled to come online. Clean, Sarah whispered, impressed. Non-lethal but effective. I detected your preference for avoiding casualties, Echo responded. These crews are following orders, as you once did. They do not deserve death for that. The comment struck uncomfortably close to home. Sarah initiated a course away from the disabled ships, plotting a series of random jumps to throw off any pursuit. You're very understanding for someone who's been alone for thousands of years. Loneliness does not justify cruelty. My creators understood this. It is one reason I chose you. Before Sarah could respond to that, new alerts flashed through their shared consciousness. A signal barely detectable at the edge of Echo's impressive sensor range. Something was following them, and it wasn't Earth fleet. The signal was alien, ancient, and somehow Echo recognized it. Sarah felt a wave of what could only be described as fear pulse through their connection. We must run. Now. What is it? What's out there? The ones who destroyed my creators, the Void Hunters. They should not be here, should not be awake. Sarah processed multiple jump trajectories at once, selecting the least predictable route. Want to fill me in on what we're dealing with? Through their neural link, Echo shared memories that made Sarah's blood run cold. She saw great organic metal ships like Echo, a whole civilization of merged consciousness and technology, attacked by beings that seemed to exist in the spaces between stars. The Void Hunters didn't just kill Echo's creators. They consumed them, broke them down, and absorbed their knowledge, their very essence. Why are they hunting you? Because I carry what remains of my civilization. Their knowledge, their history, their consciousness, stored and preserved within my systems. The Void Hunters seek to consume this knowledge, to complete their victory over my people. Sarah felt the weight of that revelation, the responsibility of it. No wonder Echo had waited so long, had been so careful in choosing a partner. The ship wasn't just running from humanity's authorities. It was guarding the last remnants of an entire civilization. They're not getting you, Sarah said firmly, plotting their next jump. Either of you or your people's legacy. You do not understand the risk, Echo warned. The Void Hunters are unlike anything your species has encountered. They do not think as organic or artificial life thinks. They do not feel as we feel. They only hunger. Maybe that's their weakness. Sarah mused, an idea forming. They don't think like us, don't feel like us. That means they can't predict what we'll do when we're working together. She felt Echo processing this, considering the possibilities. An interesting hypothesis, but extremely dangerous to test. More dangerous than running forever. Sarah asked, checking their sensor data again. The alien signal was stronger now, more focused. They found us once. They'll find us again. Better to face them on our terms. A long pause then. Your tactical analysis has merit. But we are not yet ready. We must first understand each other better. Learn to fight as one. Sarah nodded, initiating their next jump. Then let's find somewhere quiet to practice. I want to know everything these systems can do, and you need to learn how humans think when our backs are against the wall. Agreed. I suggest the Carina Nebula. The radiation will help mask our presence while we prepare. As they made the jump to FTL, Sarah couldn't help but smile. She'd started the day as a salvage hunter, and now she was merged with an alien ship, carrying the legacy of a lost civilization and preparing to face beings that hunted in the void between stars. Just another day at the office, she muttered. Your species' use of humor in dire situations continues to fascinate me, Echo responded, and Sarah could have sworn she detected amusement in the ship's thoughts. They had a lot to learn about each other and not much time to do it. But as they raced through FTL toward the Carina Nebula, Sarah felt more alive than she had in years. She had a purpose again, a fight worth fighting. And this time, she wasn't alone. The Carina Nebula painted space in shades of crimson and gold, its vast clouds of gas and dust providing the perfect cover for Echo's training exercises. For 3 days, Sarah had been pushing both herself and the ship to their limits, learning to work as one while staying hidden from their pursuers. Sarah floated in the neural interface chamber, suspended in a field of light as Echo's consciousness merged with hers. The sensation had become familiar now, almost comfortable. Through their shared perception, she could feel every aspect of the ship's systems, from the quantum state processors to the phase shift drive. Show me again, Sarah requested, her mind reaching out to access Echo's historical archives. Show me your world. Memories that weren't her own flooded her consciousness. A planet of crystalline cities where organic and mechanical life existed in perfect harmony. Ships like Echo, but thousands of them, carrying entire civilizations within their neural networks. A society that had transcended the boundaries between flesh and machine. We called ourselves the Meridian, Echo's thoughts intertwined with the memories. We believed we had found the perfect balance between organic intuition and technological precision. What happened? Sarah asked, though she'd seen these memories before. Something about the Meridian's fate haunted her, perhaps because it reflected humanity's own potential future. Pride, Echo answered. We believed we had reached the pinnacle of evolution. We did not consider that there might be other forms of life, ones that evolved in the dark spaces between stars. The Void Hunters found us unprepared. The memories shifted, showing the attack. Great ships of living darkness, moving in ways that defied physics. The Meridian fought back with all their advanced technology, but the Void Hunters were relentless. They didn't just destroy. They consumed, absorbed, learned. But you escaped, Sarah said, focusing on that crucial detail. You saved what you could. I carried the seeds of our civilization, our knowledge, our history, and the stored consciousness of thousands of my people. I fled, hoping to find a species worthy of this legacy, one that might learn from our mistakes. Sarah felt the weight of those words. And you think humanity is worthy, despite all our flaws? I think you are worthy, Echo corrected. Your species is young, still finding its path. But you, Sarah Chen, understand something my people forgot. That strength comes not from perfection, but from acknowledging our imperfections and striving to overcome them. Before Sarah could respond, alarm signals pulsed through their shared consciousness. a distress beacon broadcasting on multiple frequencies. The signal was coming from a small mining outpost on the nebula's edge. Sarah accessed the sensor data, analyzing the situation. Pirates, she concluded, recognizing the attack pattern. 3 ships, heavy weapons. They're after the outpost's refined thorium. This is not our concern, Echo cautioned. Engaging would reveal our position. Sarah felt the ship's reluctance, its fear of discovery. But she also felt something else through their connection, an echo of the Meridian's own protective instincts. You chose me because I make ethical choices, Sarah reminded the ship. Even when they're not easy choices, those people need help. A moment of hesitation, then. Your tactical analysis. Sarah grinned, already plotting attack vectors. The pirates aren't expecting anything larger than local security vessels. We can use that. A quick hit-and-run, disable their ships, give the outpost time to get their defenses online. The risk is significant. Life is risk. Sarah countered. Your people risked everything to preserve their knowledge, their essence. What good is preserving it if we don't use it to help others? She felt Echo processing this, its vast consciousness weighing options and outcomes. Finally, the ship's thoughts aligned with hers. Your argument has merit. Battle stations. Sarah's body tingled as Echo's systems powered up. Weapons she was still learning to understand charging to full capacity. They accelerated out of their hiding place, the nebula's gases parting around their hull like a curtain. The pirate ships never saw them coming. Echo's phase shift drive allowed them to appear literally inside the pirates' formation. Sarah triggered the same energy pulse they'd used against the fleet destroyers, watching with satisfaction as 2 of the pirate vessels went dark. The 3rd ship tried to run, but Sarah had anticipated this. She engaged Echo's quantum tethers, technology that could actually grip the fabric of space-time itself. The pirate ship froze in place, trapped in a localized field of warped space. Efficient, Echo commented as they secured the last vessel. Though this engagement has likely drawn attention. Then we'd better make it count, Sarah replied, opening a channel to the mining outpost. This is Commander Sarah Chen. Your attackers have been neutralized. Suggest you get your defense grid online before their friends show up. The outpost's response was immediate and grateful. As they helped coordinate the recovery efforts, Sarah felt something shift in her connection with Echo. The ship's earlier hesitation had been replaced by a sense of satisfaction. Perhaps, Echo admitted, catching her thought. My creators believed in protecting those who could not protect themselves. It is agreeable to honor that legacy. See, we make a good team. Sarah began plotting their exit vector. Though you're right about company coming. Time to disappear. Wait, Echo's thought stopped her. I am detecting unusual energy signatures from the disabled pirate vessels. Patterns similar to. Sarah felt it too. A familiar darkness seeping through the ship's hulls. The Void Hunters, she whispered. They're using the pirates somehow, tracking us through them. We must leave. Now. But Sarah's tactical mind was already racing ahead. No, she said firmly. We've been running. That's what they expect. But now we know something crucial. They're working through proxies, using human ships. Meaning? Meaning they're not as strong as they used to be. The ones that attack your people were huge, overwhelming. These are just fragments, echoes of their former power. They need human vessels, human technology to track us. She felt Echo processing this revelation, comparing it to ancient memories of the Void Hunters at their peak. Your analysis is sound, Echo finally responded. They are weaker. Perhaps they can be fought. They can be fought, Sarah corrected, feeling their shared confidence growing. And we're going to prove it. But first, we need to understand exactly how they're controlling these ships. As they prepared to investigate the disabled pirate vessels, Sarah felt a new purpose solidifying through their neural link. They weren't just running anymore. They were hunting the hunters. And this time, the Void Hunters wouldn't be facing a civilization unprepared for their existence. They would be facing the human commander with nothing left to lose and the last Meridian Archive ship, working as one. The real war was about to begin. The captured pirate ship hung in space like a dark jewel against the nebulous swirling colors. Sarah studied it through Echo's enhanced sensors, searching for signs of the Void Hunter's influence. The ship's crew had abandoned it during the battle, leaving behind only shadows and questions. There, Sarah focused their shared consciousness on a particular reading. That energy signature. It's not coming from their power core. No, Echo confirmed. The pattern is familiar, similar to the quantum filaments the Void Hunters used to corrupt Meridian systems. Sarah initiated a deeper scan, feeling Echo's systems extend their reach into the derelict vessel, but different somehow. Adapted to work with human technology. Their scan revealed something unexpected, a small device integrated into the ship's navigation system. It was partly mechanical, partly organic, and entirely alien. Through their neural link, Sarah felt Echo's recognition and alarm. A seed node. They are using fragments of themselves to control human vessels, spreading their influence slowly through your space. Like a virus, Sarah muttered, her tactical mind racing. They're too weak to attack directly, so they're building a network, turning our own ships into their agents. That's how they found us so quickly. She accessed the device's data through Echo's quantum processors, and suddenly everything clicked into place. The coordinates of fleet movements, classified patrol routes, and most importantly, records of her own disgrace at Proxima. This goes deeper than we thought. Sarah's voice was tight with anger. The civilian ships I refused to fire on. They weren't part of any uprising. They were being controlled, just like these pirates. The Void Hunters were testing humanity's defenses, Echo concluded, using the Proxima incident to identify and remove commanders who might resist their influence. And my superior officer, Admiral Kane, he knew. He covered it up, branded me a traitor because I wouldn't play along. Sarah's hands clenched into fists. How many others did they force out? How deep does this corruption go? Accessing Federation military networks, Echo's thoughts merged with the data streams. Multiple incidents similar to Proxima. Experienced commanders relieved of duty for questionable reasons, replaced by officers more amenable to influence. Sarah saw it now, a pattern of manipulation stretching back years. The Void Hunters hadn't just been hiding or hunting Echo. They'd been preparing, slowly infiltrating human military and civilian vessels, positioning themselves for something bigger. They're not just fragments, she realized. This is how they rebuild themselves. They use controlled ships and crews to gather resources, gather strength, like a snake shedding its old skin for a new one. Yes, Echo's response carried the weight of ancient memory. This was how they grew strong enough to attack my people. We did not see the pattern until it was too late. A new alert pulsed through their connection. Multiple ships dropping out of FTL at the edge of sensor range. Earth fleet signatures, but the energy patterns were wrong, tainted with the same darkness they'd found in the pirate vessel. Kane, Sarah snarled, recognizing the flagship's signature. He's leading them personally. Must have tracked us through the pirate ships. We should retreat, Echo suggested. We are not yet prepared for a full confrontation. But Sarah was already formulating a plan, her mind racing through tactical possibilities. No, this is our chance. Kane's arrogant. He thinks he's hunting us, but he doesn't know what we've discovered. She felt Echo's curiosity through their link. You have a strategy. The seed nodes connect their ships to the Void Hunters network, but they're also connected to each other. Sarah's excitement flowed through their neural interface. If we can access one, we can access them all. And thanks to our friend here, she gestured to the captured pirate ship, we have our way in. A system-wide shutdown. Echo caught on quickly. But the risk is significant. To interface with their network would expose us to their influence. Not us. Sarah corrected. You. The Void Hunters destroy your people, but they never manage to corrupt your systems. There's something about Meridian technology they can't fully penetrate. That's why they need human ships as proxies. She felt Echo processing this, comparing it to ancient battles and archived data. The quantum resonance pattern, the ship realized. My creators designed our systems to maintain perfect harmony between organic and mechanical components. The Void Hunters could destroy this harmony, but never corrupt it. Exactly. And now you have something they've never faced before. A human mind working in perfect sync with Meridian technology. Sarah's confidence flowed through their connection. We can use their own network against them. Echo's consciousness merged more deeply with hers as they prepared for battle. Your plan is both tactically sound and poetically appropriate, using their desire to consume knowledge as a weapon against them. Sometimes the best way to fight darkness is to shine a light through it, Sarah said, watching the corrupted fleet ships approach, ready to show them what a real partnership looks like. Always. Commander Chen. They accelerated toward Kane's fleet, no longer running, no longer hiding. Sarah felt Echo's ancient power humming through their shared systems, felt the ship's determination matching her own. The Void Hunters had destroyed Echo's civilization because the Meridian fought alone, organic and mechanical sides never fully unified. They had corrupted Earth's forces by exploiting the divide between human and machine. But they had never faced anything like Sarah and Echo, two beings from different worlds, different times, working as one. Their strength wasn't in spite of their differences, but because of them. The real battle was about to begin, and this time, the hunters were about to become the hunted. Admiral Kane's corrupted fleet hung against the nebula's crimson backdrop, 12 ships strong. Their forms were familiar, Earth fleet destroyers and cruisers, but Sarah could see the wrongness in them through Echo's sensors. Dark energy writhed beneath their hulls, the Void Hunters' influence turning human technology into something alien and twisted. All ships opened fire. Kane's voice crackled through the comm, distorted by something more than mere static. Destroy that abomination. Sarah felt Echo's amusement through their neural link. He fears what we represent. Good, Sarah replied, their shared consciousness already plotting intercept vectors. Fear makes people sloppy, makes machines predictable. They dove into the heart of Kane's formation. Echo's phase shift drive allowing them to dance between plasma bursts and torpedo spreads. Sarah had never felt so alive, so complete. Every maneuver was perfect, every reaction instantaneous. Human intuition and Meridian technology working in perfect harmony. Initiating quantum interface, Echo announced as they soared past Kane's flyship. Accessing seed node network. Through their connection, Sarah felt Echo's consciousness extend into the corrupt fleet's systems. The Void Hunters' network was vast and dark, a writhing mass of stolen knowledge and consumed minds. But Echo's presence was different, pure and harmonious, a song cutting through discord. Kane's ships tried to surround them, but Sarah had trained for weeks for this moment. She knew Echo's capabilities now, knew how to use them in ways the Void Hunters had never seen. They phase shifted through one destroyer, emerged behind another, their movements impossible to predict or counter. You're fighting a losing battle, Chen. Kane's voice held an echo of something ancient and hungry. The Void Hunters cannot be stopped. They are evolution itself, the next step for both organic and mechanical life. Wrong, Sarah replied, feeling Echo's agreement. They're parasites, feeding off the divide between organic and mechanical. But we've found a better way. Echo's consciousness spread deeper into the network, using the captured seed node as a gateway. Sarah added her own mind to the effort, human creativity merging with Meridian precision. Together, they turned the network's own connections against it, creating feedback loops of clean energy that began to burn away the Void Hunters' influence. Ships began to shake as the dark energy within them fought back. Through their quantum link, Sarah and Echo could feel the Void Hunters' rage, their desperation. For millennia, they had consumed civilizations by exploiting the gaps between flesh and machine, organic and artificial. But they couldn't corrupt what was truly unified. Now Echo commanded, and Sarah triggered their primary weapon, not a destructive beam or explosive force, but a pulse of pure quantum harmony. The same resonance that made Meridian technology immune to corruption, amplified by the power of human consciousness. The pulse rippled through the seed node network, carrying Echo's song and Sarah's will. On every infected ship, dark energy began to dissipate. The Void Hunters' fragments, trapped in their own network, were exposed to the one thing they couldn't consume: perfect unity between organic and mechanical minds. What are you doing?" Kane's voice cracked, the ancient influence speaking more directly now. "This is impossible." "No," Sarah corrected, feeling Echo's pride through their link. "This is evolution. Real evolution, not consumption and corruption. Separate but equal, different but unified. Everything you fear." The pulse reached its crescendo, and Sarah felt the Void Hunters' presence burning away from ship after ship. Not destroyed. They were too ancient, too powerful for that, but driven back to the darkness between stars, their network shattered, their influence broken. Kane's flagship was the last to clear, and Sarah watched through Echo's sensors as the Admiral slumped in his command chair, free of the darkness that had controlled him for so long. All around them, crews were awakening from what must have felt like a nightmare. "It is done," Echo announced, their shared consciousness scanning the now quiet fleet. "The seed nodes are burnt out. The network is destroyed. They will need to find new hunting grounds." "They'll be back," Sarah cautioned, thinking of how long the Void Hunters had waited, how patiently they had built their influence. "Maybe not in our lifetime, but they'll try again." "Yes," Echo agreed. "But next time, your people will be ready." The Meridian fought alone, believing we had achieved perfect unity within ourselves. But true harmony comes from bridging greater divides. Sarah smiled, feeling the truth of those words in their connection. "So what now, partner? The fleet's got some cleaning house to do, and there's a lot of space out there to patrol." Now Echo's thoughts held a warmth Sarah had come to treasure. "We show others what is possible. There will be those who fear what we represent, who cling to the old divisions, but there will also be those ready to learn, to grow." "Teaching by example," Sarah nodded, already plotting a course away from the recovering fleet. "I like it, though we should probably clear my name first. I don't fancy being shot at by every patrol we meet. I have already transmitted the relevant data to Fleet Command." The evidence of corruption was extensive. Sarah laughed, a sound of pure joy and freedom. "Sneaky. I'm being a bad influence on you." "Perhaps," Echo admitted. "Or perhaps we are both becoming something new, something better." They accelerated into FTL, leaving the nebula behind. Sarah Chen, the disgraced commander, and Echo, the last Meridian Archive ship, had found something neither expected. Not just redemption or purpose, but a genuine partnership that transcended the boundaries between their kinds. The stars stretched before them, endless possibilities in every direction. And somewhere in the darkness between those stars, ancient hunters nursed their wounds and contemplated a new kind of prey, one that had learned to bridge the very divisions they had evolved to exploit. But that was a problem for another day. Right now, Sarah and Echo had work to do, lessons to teach, and a galaxy of opportunities to explore, together. "Where to?" Echo asked, though their shared consciousness meant the ship already knew the answer. Sarah grinned, feeling the hum of their combined power, the perfect harmony of their partnership. "Everywhere."